when I drilled down in it, it was because I never felt good enough. That's what the whole point about my sugar addiction was. I was literally throwing sugar at myself so that I wouldn't feel the way I was feeling, because I didn't feel good enough. And that's what the difference was, you know. Until, I'm going to be very honest with you here.
Hi everyone, this is Naskia Davos and welcome to this episode of Ask an X. Every Ask an X episode features an inspiring story of a CBQ program member who broke up with destructive habits and found freedom. And the ex I have with me today achieved food freedom with the CBQ program, and she's here to tell you her story and how she did it. Please welcome Louise O'Reilly. Louise, welcome and huge congratulations on your success.
Oh, thank you so much, Nazia. I couldn't be happier, to be quite honest with you, as you know.
I know. So, Louise, why don't you start by maybe sharing what is food freedom for you?
The main problem I had around addiction with food was sugar addiction. For basically since the time I was a child, I have always been addicted to sugar in some form or another. I think going through the Food Freedom Program, it made me realise that I had kind of associate, sweet things with me deserving things. Like if I did a good job, I would treat myself to desserts or treat myself to chocolate. And that just became a habit all through my life. I didn't realise how destructive it was or had been to me until I kind of started my own health journey a couple of months back when I started the CBQ, the Quit Smoking Method one. And that, from quitting smoking, it made me start to look at all the other habits in my life that I wanted to break free from. And the main one, as I said, for food freedom was sugar, because I really felt controlled by sugar. If I had a stressful situation in work, I couldn't deal with it unless I went and got a bar of chocolate. I couldn't think of anything to do unless I'd eaten a bar of chocolate. If I was upset or emotional in any way, the first thought that would come into my head was, I need a cream cake, or, I need some sweets, I need jellies. I just need this to get into my body, and then I'll know what to do. And that was literally the way my life went with sugar for as long as I can remember, to be quite honest with you.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
And Louise, what you're sharing is so interesting. So after you quit smoking, you started really looking at other habits, but of course those habits have been there for a long, long time. You said since you were a child.
Yes, very much so, Nazia. But I think being so successful with quitting smoking, it gave me the courage and the confidence to look at other parts of my life that I wanted to change. And I really felt invincible after giving up smoking, to be quite honest with you. So I felt ready to take on other challenges to improve my life. And that's why I jumped on the food freedom when it came up.
No, I know. It was great.
Yes.
And so if you were to look back at your life upon reflection, what has been your relationship with food like? Was it just sugar that was sort of a crutch, or other things as well, generally the relationship with food? What do you think?
I don't think, I didn't have a very healthy relationship with food on any part of my life. Growing up, food, not that it was scarce by any means, but we were like a typical Irish family did. You had meat and 2 veg, and once you had your dinner, you could have absolutely anything you wanted then after it, which would have been like slices of cake or bars of chocolate or packet of crisps. Mum and Dad didn't mind what you ate once you had your dinner in you, because that was your nutritional part done. So that's basically how I grew up. But as I became older and became an adult, I was always very sporty. So I'd say I'd go and I'd play football or I'd play basketball. And because I did that, I could eat as much junk food as I wanted. I weighed one up for the other. It was like me pros and cons. I'd be like, right, sure, I'm after playing a match for an hour and a half here, so I can go to McDonald's and have a ball there. And that's very much how I lived my life. I was always seemed to be weighing pros and cons up where food was concerned in my life. when I kind of got older and started to put on weight, like when I had the kids and I started to put on weight, because obviously when the kids came along, my sports kind of dwindled a little bit. I became a mammy, as happens, and that's life. But then I tried all different diets, and I'm going to be honest with you, Nazia, I tried them all. There hasn't been a diet out there that I didn't try.
Really?
Yeah,
What
honestly.
have you tried? Would you like to share?
I've tried Weight Watchers. I've tried
Mhm.
Slimming World. I've tried the Atkins diet. I have tried. We have a cabbage water diet here in Ireland, and basically it's kind of like an old wives' tale. But a lot of people used to use it when they were going to weddings because you drop a few pounds quite quick. It was basically the boiled cabbage water that you boiled your cabbage and your ham in. Like, so there was some nutrients in it, but you know, it would make you drop the weight if you needed to do it quicker. But like, none of these were ever going to be sustainable for me. You know, I nearly lost my mind going to Slimming World because they kept saying, you know, you can have 20 sins if you're a woman. Even that, I was like, what is, like, they called it sins, but it was spelled SYNS, as if that's going to make it different to you psychologically. It didn't to me. It made me feel ashamed quite a lot because I'd be like, right, I'm having this bar of chocolate, which is 5 sins. And I'd be like, what am I doing to myself? Like, I'm a grown up, for Christ's sake, you know? No, that's the way it made me feel. It really and truly did. But it made me feel so out of control because I just felt that no matter at that stage, no matter what I was putting into my body, whether it was good or bad, I couldn't see any difference. I think it was because there was such a change in my life because I'd stopped on my sports. I became a mom. So that's a huge life change anyway. And I had like Alex, and then 18 months later I had James. So there was quite a lot of change in such a very small space of time. And that's grand. Emotionally, I coped fairly well with that, but I didn't realize how much of a physical difference it was going to make to me in my body. And it made me feel very strange in my own body. And then because I couldn't control what was happening with my body around food, it just made me eat more and more with my emotions, to be honest with you. Yeah.
See, so it became
Yeah.
like a cycle.
Yeah, a very and it was a nasty cycle because it did, like, it damaged me. You know, there was an awful lot of shame around it. You know, I mean, Derek is a very supportive husband, and he'd be saying to me, you know, do you not want to get a takeaway or whatever? And I'd be like, oh no, no, and he'd be like, why? So like, you're stopping doing everything that you want to do. But it was because I felt so awful in my own skin, Nazia. I was trying my best to fight it, but I was fighting it the wrong way. I mean, I can have a lot of willpower when I put my mind to it. I know that, but I didn't know there was such a thing as mind power to use at that time. You know, so I probably sent myself around bend with willpower for weeks on end, and then it would end up in a binge. You know, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It always happens like this because
yeah,
it's not about how much willpower we have. It's the fact that willpower itself does not support us to create a long-term
no,
change. It's just only short-term, and it feels bad. And
yes,
it always, because what you resist persists.
yeah.
So that, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Louise. So you went through a lot.
Yeah, yes, and in a short space of time. And I think that's, like, I mean, I'm usually a fairly logical type of person. So I think because it happened to me in such a short, it kind of knocked me a little bit off kilter. And I didn't know what to do next, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And Louise, what was different this time?
The main difference I found was, and I mean, it started from the first call that we had, Nazia, as I was in the A team, and we all were there. And I mean, the A team arrived more times. That everybody was there more or less for all the calls, and it was a lovely, lovely community to be in. I enjoyed every single person in there, I have to say. But from the first call that we had, and you described basically how we were going to go through the 4 stages, and you told us how much information we were going to have by the end of it and how knowledgeable we would be from about food and about nutrition. That was a game changer for me because although I thought I knew about nutrition, I didn't know how nutrition affected my body, and like with the likes of blood sugars and insulin resistance and stuff like that. To me, that was like a light bulb moment going off in my head when we had the call around that, and the glycemic index as well, when we were talking about the modern natural nutrition. Like, to me, when we got to that week, I think that was week 3.
Yes,
week 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you mentioned the modern natural nutrition and you described what it was, and I was like, this is for me, this is it. I knew that this was what was going to change my life. I knew straight away. I mean, I was so heavily addicted to sugar that, like, there wasn't a day that went by in my life that I didn't have some form of sugar. And it wouldn't be like just 1 or 2 things, it would be 5 things maybe a day. And that's not like the sugar in food, that's like sugary sweet things, that there's sugar in them, it's not hidden anywhere. But to go from I need this and I need this now to I don't even like the taste of sugar anymore is, to me, so empowering, because I never thought that this was going to be impossible. It was going to be possible for me. I mean, I'm 53 now. I've been addicted to sugar since the first time my mum stuck a lollipop in my mouth. And I know that, do you know what I mean? So, like, you're talking 50 years of an addiction here. Gone. Yeah.
I mean, that's
amazing. It is amazing. It is. And I couldn't be happier, because I never thought that this would be possible. Yeah.
Louise, it's incredible. Huge congratulations. I know this was your kryptonite.
It was.
And that's why you wanted to take this journey and to be on the other side of it with this amazing success and feeling good about it.
Yes.
It's not something, I'm resisting it, 1 day away from sugar, 2 days. It's just freedom.
It's freedom. It's utter freedom. That's exactly what it is. And I mean, I know we're talking about sugar, but that's only one of the benefits, Nazia, that I've had from the program. Like, my whole physical body has changed completely.
Tell me about that, please.
Yeah, no, seriously, I dropped 15 pounds from the day we started until the day we finished. My body literally shrunk in, because I think I got rid of all the inflammation that I had in my body. That's literally the way I feel. And I lost 6 inches all the way around my whole frame. So I went from a size 16 down to a size 12. I dropped 2 sizes. And it just, like, I mean, to feel the strength that's in my body, even just from that alone, has been amazing. Me energy levels are through the roof now. Just before we started Food Freedom, I went through radiotherapy. So my energy levels were quite low when we started it. And I think after 5 days on the Bio Boost, my energy levels were through the roof. I honestly think that that's like rocket fuel for energy. And I don't think there'll ever be a day that goes by that I don't drink Bio Boost, because I love it. And I just think it's an amazing thing for your body, What else can I tell you? About 6 months before we started the program, I was attending a liver clinic for fatty liver. And 2 weeks before we ended the program with Food Freedom, so that would have been about week 10, I had my other appointment with my liver consultant, and I don't have a fatty liver anymore. That's all completely gone. And I've changed that through the nutrition in Food Freedom. So, like, that's unbelievable. My hairdresser.
Did you get any other treatment for the non-alcoholic fatty liver? Or
no,
just with the nutritional changes
it was
we
just
made?
The nutritional changes with Food Freedom. That was it. Yeah, because the only advice that the liver consultant gave me when I left before was like, I don't drink. I drink occasionally. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I might have a drink maybe once or twice a month. That's it. And he just, when I was leaving the office, he said, it'd get worse if you start drinking more alcohol, so don't do that. And I was like, okay, yeah, great. But there was no advice, nothing else. And and now, like, it doesn't exist. Like, I don't have a fatty liver anymore. And as I said to you there, I mean, I felt like my body shrunk in. That was part of it, because I was getting rid of the inflammation everywhere on my body. That's the truth.
And you released a lot of fat, Louise, because to drop 2 sizes and 14 pounds, it means that mass was gone, and it was was not water retention, because it's been
No.
many weeks now.
Yes. Yeah. No, it wasn't.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, it was. And I could feel it all, like it was all around kind of the ab area and the stomach area as well. And like, I mean, they're very hard areas to shift away from. But literally week by week, I just felt my frame going in and in and in. And I was like, this is brilliant. I couldn't believe the way
it is brilliant.
It physically felt so good. It really and truly did.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the transformation happening, but also when you posted your photos,
I know
the difference was so visible for just 14 pounds. So it was,
I know, it was
the 14 pounds that mattered.
It was 14 pounds where it mattered indeed, Nassia, because like the shape of my body now compared to where I started, it's completely different and all over. It's not just like in one area, do you know, like it's like every part of my body has shrunk in, and I feel it. It's amazing. It really is amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, and you look amazing. Even your face, your glow, your skin. You start telling me about your hair. I mean, Louise, you went through chemotherapy and radiotherapy, and
it was.
This is your hair.
This is my hair.
This is your hair.
Yeah. I didn't go through chemotherapy. I went through radiotherapy, but that dries up your hair as well, and it dries out your skin too. So, and about 4 months ago, my hairdresser, my usual hairdresser, she was off sick, so she hadn't seen me in about 4 months, and we had started the program. By the time I got back to see her, it was around week 9 or 10, and the first thing she was doing a blow dry, and the first thing she just brushed through my hair, and she goes, "Your hair," she said, "is about 10 times thicker than it was the last time. What are you doing?" She said, and I was telling her about the crunch. She was like, "Oh my God." She said, "Well," she said, "whatever it is." And she said, she usually cuts my hair once every 6 months. And so far, like this year, I've had 3 cuts now on my hair. Yeah, because my hair is growing like wildfire. It's just like sprouting. It's just grown. And it feels so healthy and thick. I haven't had healthy and thick hair in years. I'm not going to lie. That's the truth of it. Because of the stuff I was putting into my body, I'm convinced of that now. I know the difference. Like the more good, nutritious food that you're putting into your body, the more your body responds in a good and a powerful way. That's the way I feel now. And I'll never change that, because the benefits of it are just unbelievable. Yeah. And my skin, like for about the last 6 weeks, everybody just keeps saying to me, you're glowing. And I was like, I know I am, but I feel like I'm glowing all the time. I love it now, don't get me wrong. But it's funny with people that you don't even know, just like the glow off your skin. And it's like, I know, yeah, thanks very much. I eat a lot of blueberries,
Yeah, and it's all those things you're doing to get, it's the things that you freed yourself from, but also all the good stuff that you are giving to yourself. Louise, so I know the skin, the hair, the weight, the liver.
Yes.
You were telling me about your gums as well. That you went to your dentist.
And I'm dying to tell you about this as well, because when this month is going to be my 11th month off the cigarettes. Okay, so one of the deals I made with myself was I was going to use the money I saved from cigarettes to try and recuperate my teeth and my mouth from all the years of smoking. So this is a very important goal for me to do. So all through the last couple of months, from the time I gave up smoking, I've been attending the dentist, and we've been progressing all along. Now, my mouth is in a great, very, very healthy state at the moment. But my dentist sent me to a gum specialist because I'm 53. I smoked for over 30 years in my life, so there's a lot of damage done there. And basically, I went to him the first time would have been in May of this year, the start of May this year. So he did all measurements, and basically what he was measuring was the volume of my gum around each tooth. So there was an awful lot. The gum had receded quite a lot. So the gap between the volume of gum around each tooth, there was gaps that he measured between 7, 8, and 9s, all right, which aren't very healthy. It means that you're in trouble. So basically what we had to do was a whole lot of going to the dental hygienist and then going to the dentist and then back to him. And he had to do 2 deep cleans that literally get right into the roots of each tooth and do them. And they were 3 hours long each time we did them, and then to come back and see just to see if it worked. That's basically it. So I had the cleanings done, and then I didn't have to go back to him until the end of November. And in the meantime, I had completed food freedom. So obviously all the nutrition had gone into me. I wasn't eating sugar. So my teeth were healthier and healthier and healthier. And so were my gums. And when I went back to him on the 24th of November this year, he redid the test. And the gap of volume had come down by 2 or 3 in each one. Where I'd scored 7, 8s and 9s, it had scored 4s, 5s and 6s. So yeah, so he kept saying, he just said to me, you need to just keep doing what you're doing because this is really, really working. He said there's about a 30% improvement. He said, I've never seen anything like this in such a small space of time.
Yes.
So yeah, huge. So I told him about the food freedom and what I was doing, and he was like, I'm mind blown. And he asked me for the recipe for the bio boost. Now I know I asked you, so I did email it to him, Nazia, and he's very excited about trying it. I have to say, he's a really nice guy. So yeah.
I'm glad.
Yes, indeed.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's what a massive change in
huge.
your gums as well in just a few months.
Couple of months.
And for your dentist to be mind blown. I mean, he has seen a lot.
Yes, indeed. And he definitely has, because he's a specialist in gums. Do you know, like that's what he does for a living. Yeah, indeed.
Goes out to show just how powerful our nutrition can be. And to have good nutrition, we have to have good habits.
Yes.
And to have good habits, we have to have the right reprogramming to support those habits that supports the nutrition. That's how it's easy and it lasts. And you did it all.
Yes,
you did it all, Louise.
But one of the in food freedom, Nazia, that one of the main ones was when we had to remember where we were setting our decision. So we were doing the why, the what, the how, and the what if. I have a huge big kitchen table here, and I put like 4 posters on either one.
Love it.
And I left it out for the whole week, and each day I added one to each thing. So by the end of the week, I had a whole list of me what's, me whys, me how, and what if. And I ended up sellotaping them to the kitchen wall for the whole time that we were doing food freedom, because I'm very visual and I like visual cues and everything. But like even the kids and Derek were like, what's this about? And what's the, this, that, and the other. So it caused us all to have conversations around food and nutrition in the house. And I know I might have mentioned it to you before, but the kids wouldn't be great. Like they do a lot of junk food, and Derek would be the same. But since I started this, they're eating fruit bowls with me now at night time rather than having cereals or snacks. And I'm very grateful for that. When I'm doing like kind of me batch cooking and stuff, they're all in and they're like, oh, that smells nice. What are we doing here? And this, that, and the other. And Alex out of all, and Alex is my daughter, she tends to have 3 meals with me now, like what I'm eating a week more so than what's dad's cooking. So because she's kind of sees herself as a little bit of an athlete as well. Like she has an injury at the moment. She's a camogie player, but she's trying to get herself fit back in. And I know that she sees the nutrition in my food, versus the nutrition in the other dinners that are being put up. So that's nice that she's her own mind is starting to sway towards the nutrition thing, and that's important to me.
And Louise, it's what you said, by you creating your own transformation and just by leading by example, because I know you're not telling your family do this, do that. I know you're just
by no means
doing your thing, and they're inspired by seeing you and the changes you are experiencing, and how the whole family's habits have shifted because of it. It's amazing. It's one of the best things.
And it's such an enjoyable part of it. And I never see this part of doing food freedom. I didn't see that this would come part of it, but it really has put a more positive spin around food in my house, and I couldn't be more grateful for that, especially with the kids. It's important. I know now how important good nutrition is, and it's funny, like, because like even if they're eating sweets now, they just say to me, "Ma'am, what would you call this?" And I'd be like, devil food, and they break break their hearts laughing, but they know, do you know what I mean? That like, I'm calling this because it's not really good for you. So like, even that, it's a fun way around kind of educating them, you know? Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah, because why shouldn't it be fun? That's why in the program
exactly.
we're playing the games. And
which
why
is
not
one of my
fun?
favorite parts of each week. I loved it. I have to say, Smash or Trash, amazing. And I think we all did.
I loved it
we
as
were very
well.
competitive in group in the A team.
Yeah, it was really, really, really fun. And so family life, everyone is sort of slowly shifting towards what's good, what's healthy, and it's fun. I love it.
Yeah.
Skin, hair, teeth, your health, your liver. How is your mood? How is your mental health, your attitude? Tell me about that.
Well, I tell you, I think I mentioned it earlier on. There's a calmness around me now because I'm not addicted to sugar anymore. It was a huge thing. I always kind of felt that I was never really in control of my own life because I depended on sugar so much. Now, I used to feel the same about cigarettes until I kicked them out. Do you know what I mean? And did that, and that was fine. But the sugar thing, I think, because I'd lived with it all my life, you know, that I was like, I just said to myself, will I be able to live? Will I be happy without it? It was all those kind of questions around it. And I couldn't be happier because I can 100% tell you, I know I'm in control of my own life now. I've never felt like that any other time in my life, except for now. And that makes me so proud of myself and so happy. But the confidence that it has grown in me, like even from a work point of view, Nazia, I'm walking in, I don't react to anything. I'm very calm. That I can see people getting irritated the whole lot, and I'm like, just take a deep breath, it'll be grand, you know, this type
you
of thing.
were not like that before.
No, I wasn't before. I'd be really like, okay, listen, lads, we have to get this sorted out. And I would have been very much, I probably would have added to stress in stressful situations. Whereas now it's as if I can see the big picture now of everything, to be quite honest with you. It really is. And I can see my own role in my own life the way I want it to be, not the way I'm reacting to it, because I'm in control. That's literally what the difference is. Yeah. And because of that, I am so confident in everything. It's like, I feel like Wonder Woman. I'm not going to lie. I feel like Wonder Woman. Do you know our visuality in Food Freedom when we've to blow up the screen size? My visual is me in the Wonder Woman outfit, in the Wonder Woman pose like that. That's me. Yeah.
I got chills.
That's how wonderful Food Freedom has made me feel. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And you made this part of your visualization, and now you are experiencing this reality.
Yeah.
You're experiencing yourself.
I'm giving myself
like
chills telling you, but that's the truth. It's the truth.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And what blows my mind is you're saying, to be honest, Louise, I could never imagine you not being like that, but I have experienced you in a certain way. But you're telling me that, I mean, not in crisis, I don't know that, but you're saying that you would be like reacting, which is a very normal behavior, but that doesn't happen anymore.
No, it doesn't, Nazia. It doesn't. And I'm going to be honest with you, it started to, when I gave up, you see, this all really started with me when I gave up smoking with the CBQ method. It really did, because that gave me confidence that I didn't have before, because I felt I had the ability to change my life. And it gave me the courage to look at aspects of my life that I wasn't happy with, that I was just putting up with because I didn't think I was able to change it. And the main thing that's changed through all of this process, is since everything I've been through with your 2 programs, is that I feel I can accomplish absolutely anything now. I really and truly, and I firmly believe that now, because I've done it. I've done it twice now, and I've done it with ease and with grace and with fun and curiosity, and I've enjoyed every single part of it. But to go through a process like that and end up here, the happiest that I've ever been in my life, and the most confident I've ever been in my life, it's unbelievable. I don't know how or what words of appreciation I could even find to tell you how happy I am about this, and that's the truth of it. Yeah. Louise, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. It is the truth. You've changed my life. You, your brain, your programs, your team, just, you have no idea what you've done for this girl, I can tell you. Really and truly don't.
Well, thank you for sharing this, and thank you for your trust.
Mm.
And I'm so moved. You're saying that you feel now the happiest you felt in your life.
Ever.
That's a big statement, Louise.
It's the truth. It's the truth. My husband will back me up. He's the happiest you've ever been because I'm the happiest. Yes, it's true, Nazia, indeed. Yes.
Huge congratulations.
I never thought life could be this wonderful. That is the honest to God truth, because the amount of limiting beliefs that I have crushed through CBQ Quit Smoking and through Food Freedom has literally, it's just freed me up for everything. It really and truly has. And it's made me open to new opportunities. Like, I've signed myself up to do a makeup course for a whole year next year, which is something I've always wanted to do. But, you know, it was like, oh, you know, that's frivolous. And why would you want to do it? I want to do it because I know I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm a creative person. And I want to give that as a gift to myself now. I never would have done that 2 years ago. There's no way. And I started 3 weeks ago. I started weight training in the local gym, which was,
I know, for the first time at the gym you shared.
First time ever in a gym, Nazia. I never went to a gym in my life. I swear, like, that was so outside my comfort zone. And talk about feeling like Wonder Woman. It's so empowering, I have to say. So I've already decided next year, from January onwards, I'm upping it 3 times a week instead of 2 times a week. Yeah. That's
amazing.
It is
a great gift.
It is.
Yourself.
And it's so much fun. It is so much fun. It really is. But that's
and something else you were sharing. I think, I don't know if it was in our final Q&A call, because you're an executive and you were going to work and you were feeling yourself entering the room with confidence and sharing. I just love it.
Yeah, because in my job, like, we do tend to have, there's a lot of meetings with outside clients and stuff like that. So, and sometimes you don't know what you're walking into. It's the nature of the job. But like, since giving up smoking and building on it, then obviously with me physicality changing as well, the confidence is just brimmed up in me. And like, walking into the boardroom now, it's a completely different experience. It's a pleasure to do now. I'm not nervous, you know. I'm there. I know exactly what I need to say, you know. I'm not afraid to say it anymore. So I just get on with the job now, and it's a pleasure, you know. No stress attached at all. I know. Because,
I mean, entering a boardroom can be quite stressful.
It can, yes,
right?
Indeed.
And you're saying sometimes you don't know what you're walking into. But
no, and you don't. Yeah, that's it. And especially, like, I mean, our boardrooms, we could have, it could be anything between 15 to 20 clients, you know, and then there's you going in with them. So you don't know. And they're all different projects that you're dealing with. So you really don't know if somebody's irked about something and wants to discuss that, or if everything is going to go your way. But the difference is I know now I can handle anything. So, you know, there's no need to be nervous anymore. That's the
love
truth.
it. And it's also all this work in surfacing the sage, trusting the sage, using the sage as the guiding light instead of the joker. This is something you're taking with you anywhere you go. And
100%. Yes.
It's great that it has impacted every single aspect. You have allowed it to impact every single aspect of your life. And it's transformational. It
is transformational. And I don't think there'll ever be a day in my life where I don't say to myself, what will me sage do here? I think that's one of the best blessings out of Food Freedom, for me anyway, because I just found it, like, when we discussed about the joke, I loved the joker on the stage, because calling the joker the one, like, that's like making him almost childlike, that was a game changer for me as well, because I always seen that side of me as my enemy, you know, someone I had to battle against. And when you called it the joker and we changed it into more or less like a child that needed nurturing more, you know, than anything else, that's like to me. And then when with the juxtaposition then of the sage being your higher self, your true self, your healthier self. That's just, it was putting the two of those in my hands was a game changer, because now I knew what I was to do to help the Joker. And then my sage was the one that was going to have the wisdom for me to be able to get me where I needed to be.
Yeah.
So you put everything into my hands. So thank you.
Of course. And you touched upon something extremely fundamental, because when we don't know how to think about the Joker, we use willpower trying to, drown the Joker, but it doesn't work. But our mind power comes from our sage.
It never worked for me.
For anyone. For anyone. And then we blame ourselves, and we think we have a part within that's self-destructive, that's hateful, that there is something toxic inside of us.
Yes.
And I am fundamentally opposed that view.
Yes.
We just have parts of us that are less nurtured or need a different type of handling, but nothing has a bad intention. And understanding that is so empowering.
It is.
Like you said.
It is. No, it was.
It's not the enemy.
Yeah. No, it's not. And that was another light bulb moment for me, because I literally went through my life hating that part of myself, whereas the food freedom gave me the opportunity to see that part of myself as something that I needed to love more and, be kind with, and when I was able to begin that, everything started to change then. And as I said, anytime the Joker would pop up, my first reaction to that would be, okay, Joker, I know you're there, so let's pull in the sage and see what the sage has to say, And I used to visualize the three of us sitting around,
wow,
having the chats, and it worked. It was good. It was enjoyable then, There was nothing to fear from the Joker anymore. That was it.
That's what you said, enjoyable. And Louise, you mentioned that a lot of limiting beliefs were released since you did the Quit Smoking Program, now the Food Freedom Program. If you were to pinpoint, what is the biggest thing you believed all your life about food or yourself that you don't believe anymore at all?
The main thing, I seemed, and like this kind of shocked me, Nazia, when I found it out, because I couldn't see where it came from until I started delving into it. When I was younger, I equate very much, we didn't have an awful lot of money for sweets and things. So I equated, not having sweets with kind of being a bit unsuccessful or a little bit poor. And as that went on, I always kind of said to myself, I'm able, I'm, big enough to be able to sort myself out, and I'm independent and the whole lot. And to make myself believe that, I always bought myself sweets or sugary things and stuff like that. But when I drilled down in it, it was because I never felt good enough. That's what the whole point about my sugar addiction was. I was literally throwing sugar at myself so that I wouldn't feel the way I was feeling, because I didn't feel good enough. And that's what the difference was, until, I'm going to be very honest with you here, my self-worth went through the roof after I finished the CBQ Quit Smoking, because I was so proud of myself, and it was one of the proudest moments of my life, because it was the first time I ever did something just for me. And that made me start to question all different parts of my life and why I was putting up with things that I wasn't happy with, because I was good enough. And it really started to open the door for me to feel my self-worth. That's the truth of it. Yeah.
That's quite deep and insightful.
Very.
Just goes down deep to the core of your being, because of course it's in the human nature to not feel something enough for all sorts of reasons. But it's after finishing the Quit Smoking Program, you started reflecting on that truth.
Yes, I did. Yeah. And I took my time with it, Nazia. I journaled a lot. I decided that I was going to do this. And because I didn't want to live my life the way I was living my life anymore, I wanted to be a happier, healthier version of myself. I mean, I had a rough year health-wise. And I think that makes you become more focused about where you want your life to go. And that was a blessing to me, to be honest with you, that cancer diagnosis. I mean, it really focused me into getting me where I wanted to be in life. And it probably fast-tracked me into where I wanted to be in life as well, to be honest with you, because once I started something that I knew was going to help, I just didn't stop. And that's the truth of it, you know.
And Louise, can you remind me? I think you got the diagnosis after you had quit smoking, shortly after, right?
Yes, I did. I had quit smoking on the 17th of January, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer on the 27th of March. And even that was a blessing, because could you imagine if I had had that diagnosis as a smoker? I mean, going through this, as I would have smoked 10 times more if I had had a cancer diagnosis, and I know that, you know, but even for that, I feel so blessed, I have to say. Yeah, huge.
And you know what else happens sometimes? After people quit smoking, they start becoming more health conscious and more nurturing their health. So they actually pay more attention to the body, and they catch things that are off, or they would go for their checkups, while when we're smokers, we tend to push things under the rug because we don't we're terrified.
Of course.
And who doesn't know? So quitting smoking allows us to actually go to the checkups, be in tune with the body, and then we discover things like this.
Absolutely.
Can be life-saving. And in your case, I know the timing was just perfect. However horrible the diagnosis is, it was just perfect.
It was perfect, yeah. I mean, even the way I was diagnosed was just like, I really truly feel like all parents, grandparents up there, whoever it is up there belong to me, they're working overtime for me. I have to say, yeah, that's the truth of it. It really and truly is.
Yeah, and that belief you discovered, and with the CBQ program, the Quit Smoking Program, was that the first time that you had tried to quit smoking? Can you remind me?
No, Nancy, geez, I've been trying to stop smoking for about 20 years. So I have, I've tried it all. I tried vapes, but could never use a vape because they hurt my throat, which was a blessing in disguise in itself. I've tried the patches, I've tried chewing gums, I've tried willpower. The only time I was successful to give up any length of time was when I was pregnant on the kids. But even then, I still have a sneaky cigarette once or twice. Do you know what I mean? Something that I'm not proud of, but that's my truth, and it is what it is. It was just something that I could never. I remember during COVID, and I was like, all right, I'll have to, like, COVID kind of scared me a lot, because I was like, I'm a smoker, so I'm going to be up there. If I get it, I'm dead, you know, when it started off first. So out of pure fear, I was able to stop smoking for 6 months. And then I started smoking heavier than I had ever smoked. Yeah. And
that's what willpower does.
Yeah, it was. It makes you want them 10 times more. That's basically what happened to me there. And I had a frenzy of about 6 months of smoking double what I would have normally smoked. So, you know, I didn't gain any ground with 6 months I was off, to be honest with you. But not until the CBQ. The CBQ method was like, because you're approaching it with a sense of curiosity, and like, you're not being told what to do. You're in a process. It's a program. You're going to decide what you're going to do with your life here. That's basically what you're doing. The skills are there, the tools are there for you to do. If you follow the program, you're going to end up as a happy non-smoker. There's no doubt about that. But you're still the one that's in control. You're the one that's deciding to follow the program. And to me, that was just, it was unreal. Rather than sticking a patch on for 24 hours and hoping for the best, because that's what I was doing. That's literally what I was doing. And then I knew I was still addicted to nicotine. So I didn't see the point in it, to be honest with you, you know?
Yeah, you said it perfectly. So it was taking yourself through. It was not quitting smoking that empowered you. It was quitting smoking where you felt you had the empowerment and the control that transformed your outlook on everything and allowed you to tap into those beliefs through the process and really start putting the pieces together, which is incredible.
Yeah, no,
what
and that's
empowerment can do.
That's exactly what happened, because like from the day I started with the CBQ smoking, I did start to feel empowered, and I was curious about the empowerment, and that led me to delve into the whole program. And then by the time Food Freedom came along, I was like, I can't wait for this now. If it's anything like CBQ Quit Smoking, it's going to be amazing, which it was. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's one of your programs, so you're going to get the results if you follow it. It's as simple as that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing. And one last question, Louise. If you were to give a piece of advice to someone who, like you, has tried literally everything, all the diets, all the slimming programs, all the systems, the this, the that, what would be your advice to that person?
I would tell them to run and sign up for the Food Freedom, because not only is it one of the most enjoyable experiences that I've had in my life, but the life changes that I've experienced, I never thought were possible in my life. I never thought I'd be able to get to this place. The program is 3 months long, and it's completely changed my life forever. And I would love everybody in the world that has a problem with food, or a bad relationship with food, or even aren't really sure what to do for nutrition for their own body, to sign up for this program, because it is life-changing. That's what I'd advise anyone to do, Nazia.
Well, thank you so much for recommending the program. I know it's from your heart because of what it meant to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I agree. Yes. It is really, really good taking you through that journey. And I mean, Louise, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
You were telling me the other day where we talked how I will not forget it ever, where you were telling me that one day I was on Facebook and I saw, what did you say exactly? Was it an ad or a post?
It was. I tell you, I had the year before. My quit date was the 17th of January, and the year before that I had been diagnosed with lung cancer. Now, I was very lucky. The lung cancer was removed by surgery. I didn't need anything else, but I could not give up smoking. And it was a running joke in my family saying, you're going to need to get lung cancer before you give up smoking. So I was sitting at my kitchen table a year after I had had the diagnosis, surgery, and I was absolutely fine, but I was still a smoker. And I sat at my kitchen table and I said, Lord, I can't give up smoking. You're going to have to help me. And I picked up my phone, and there on my phone on Facebook was the CBQ advert, and I popped into it and I said, right, I'm taking it as the sign, and I signed up for it there and then. That's how little. And I'm going to be honest with you, Nazia, it was the first time I ever seen the ad for CBQ.
Wow.
I'd never seen it before. Never.
So you had no idea?
Nothing. I didn't know what it was signing up for. I just took it as a sign from God. Yeah, and that's the truth. And look where it's all after leading me. Yeah, that's the truth of it.
What a leap of faith.
Yeah, it was a leap of faith.
Literally.
Yeah, it literally was a leap of faith. It was. Yeah.
Usually people would have seen the success stories, all these testimonials, but it was something direct. And look what has happened since then.
Yes, since then. I know.
Amazing.
Like literally every aspect of your life has changed. So it was a brilliant leap of faith to have taken. Yes, indeed.
I didn't know some of the details. I didn't remember if it was an ad, and I didn't know that it was the first time you ever saw something.
Ever. Yeah,
wow.
It was. So I really do think it was, it was the answer to my prayer. Definitely. Yeah. But Nazia, you said something as well during Food Freedom that stuck with me. You were saying, even if you only stick to the Food Freedom Program 80%, you're going to get amazing results. But if you stick to the program 100%, your results are going to be mind blown. I know that I stuck to the program 100%, and literally you've blown my mind with this whole program. So you are right in what you said, my dear, without a doubt. And thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. That's the most important. And thank you for taking this journey with me and the group, and taking the journey into yourself, which is the most important journey
Yes.
here. You did all of those things with absolute commitment. And Louise, thank you so much for spending this time with me and sharing your
No, well, I've
inspiring
loved
story.
Nancy. Thank you so much. And like as I said, I love our community. They're amazing. They're so empowering. I'll always be a part of them. And same as yourself. I mean, I love everything that you do, and I'm looking forward to more of it coming, I have to say.
And we have the wellness.
Yes, I know. I
membership
can't
starting.
wait. I can't
I'm
wait.
excited.
Excellent. Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, Louise, thank you so much. I know you're really proud of yourself. Your family is so proud of you. You
Yes.
have created an amazing transformation in your life. And now that inspiring story goes even beyond to everyone who's
Yes.
going to watch this, because so many people, we know this, so many people have a similar story or similar parts to
Yeah.
that story, and seeing that there is light at the end of the tunnel and transformation is possible. It's just, I know it's going to help so many people. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. No, it was my absolute pleasure. I have to say, I know myself from watching the Ask an X interviews. I've always felt very inspired by them. So if I get the chance to do that for anybody at all, Nazia, I'd definitely like to take it. So thanks for giving me the opportunity.
My pleasure, my pleasure. And for everyone who's watching this video, leave a comment below and let Louise and I know what you're taking away from her just amazing journey that can help you in yours. Thank you so much, and see you next time.